Facebook is being a jerk, which is why I'm doing this on YouTube this week. Ooh. Come on, we can do this, YouTube. We can do it. We can. Okay, good, we're live. Hey, what's up? So, this week on Fundum Friday, we are looking at some amazing gifts. So first up, for the maker in your life who needs something immediately and can't wait, here are some things recommended by the staff of Make Magazine. We've got things from Circuit Scribe, we've got cool notebooks from my friend Emily Kilker. She's a badass. I know that she's going to recommend some awesome stuff. She's got this, Bose is sponsored, this awesome speaker cube, which is personalizable, customizable. You can 3D print parts for it. I've seen it in person. It's amazing. They've got this cool gasket system that enables you to switch out the sides of it with whatever you've built, be it wood, carbon fiber, 3D printing, you know, whatever. It's really kind of neat and customizable. So you could even, you know, let the maker customize it themselves or just, you know, do it for them. There's some other cool stuff, deburring stuff, whatever. I am a fan of the idea of getting them a Go robot kit. There's tons of tutorials up for using this, and you know, it's who doesn't love robots? LED lighting is always a good thing. IoT relay, I think, is a great thing to have for 30 bucks. Because working with relays is always a huge pain, and it enables you to make almost anything IoT controlled. So like if you have a favorite lamp that has like, you know, a leg and a lampshade and stuff, and it's your pride and joy, and you put it in the window of your house, now you can make it controllable via the internet, and things like that, you know, anything, you know, old school heirloom things, spooky TVs that you want to haunt by turning them on in the middle of the night, any of that. Okay, yeah, let's move on. Circuit Scribe is this pen that you draw with silver ink and it connects things together. That's a pretty cool way of making some cards for people if you want to do that. Or you can just give them the kit and they can play around with it, all ages, you know, really easy for people who don't have a ton of experience in electronics. And there's more in this guide that's really cool, but I'm going to break it off there so we can move on. We've also got Neurobytes, which is electronic neuron simulators. It's basically like building your own brain out of hardware. There's all this talk about AI and stuff, which is all about software, but people like me like to hold stuff in our hands and put it together with our little fingers and then like cackle about our robot armies. You can do that with this robot brain called Neurobytes. It's fantastic. Plus it's totally open source, and they got all kinds of cool information about it. It's sort of like biologically modeling a network, and I just think that's so cool because it's teaching you about like 4 different kinds of science at once. It is already fully funded, and there are 6 days to go, so jump on this one. What does it cost? What does it cost? You get 1 random module for 20 bucks, and you get, you know, it goes up from there. Latte Panda is our next one, the Latte Panda Alpha, which is a totally beefy little computer in the size of a phone. So it acts like a laptop, but it's tiny like a phone, and it's the most powerful hackable computer. If you've heard of the Udo X86, this might be in the same realm of excitement for you. Like a full, like, computer that really packs a punch, not just a Raspberry Pi or whatever. Runs Windows 10, it's compatible with Linux. It's one of the few small little boards that actually runs Windows, which is really interesting. And not like a stripped down version of Windows, like the IoT Core that you used to be able to install on Minnow boards and whatnot. No, this is like a full-fledged version of Windows. Uses the same processor as a MacBook. It looks really badass. I mean, look at this thing, it's so cool. You can get the performance specs and all this cool stuff. They got some great suggestions. You can use it for gaming and stuff. Yeah, so they are nearly to their goal, but they've got 60 days to go, so jump on this. There's plenty of time. Anyone you know who's into gaming, building their computers, DIY technology, all that good stuff. Plus, it's got a whole set of breakouts here for plugging your own DIY stuff in, so that's cool. Speaking of DIY computers, we've got a Raspberry Pi Zero docking hub. This basically takes your little Raspberry Pi Zero, which has, you know, got one right here actually. Let me get this shield off. Yeah, so you got, you know, two little tiny micro USB ports, one of which is for power, and then the other one, you know, I've got a little hub, basically, that's, you know, designed to make the best possible use of the remaining port. But, you know, even that has only got two USB ports, and this thing leaves all the existing ports totally free, which is kind of cool. You see these little, let me see if you can see these actually. These little, pads on the back of here, right? So this actually uses pogo pins to connect. And then, you know, the little mounting holes on the corners of the Pi, so that you don't even have to give up any of your existing connections in order to hook this up. And it gives you 4 extra USB ports, 5 USB ports, plus Ethernet, plus an audio hookup, which I'm hoping is better than the standard. Like, if they have a sound card in there, I'd be just so happy, because the Pi tends to have audio latency issues. But yeah, no soldering required, no use of your existing ports. It just pogo pins onto there using these little mounts. It's beautiful. I totally want one. They are about a quarter of the way to their goal, and they've got a month to go, so pick it up. How much is this? Dude, you can get this for 20 bucks, and that's not even dollars, that's Canadian dollars. So good! So yeah, go grab it. You got 41 of them left at this price, so do it. Yeah. Arduino compatible RFID reader module with EEPROM. This is cool. You can store up to 5 cards in it, so that, you know, you can identify 5 people with it. Or 5 playlists for your home audio system, for example. 5 lighting settings, and it stores them in EEPROM, so even if it loses the power, it can still remember the cards. Everything's great. This one is well funded and has 8 days to go. Plusboard, an A+ prototyping experience for makers, an enhanced breadboard. So yeah, I actually didn't look into this one before I did the video, but let's have a look at what it is. It looks like it has a really nice setup for connecting stuff pretty easily. Oh! Built-in power supply! That alone is gorgeous! Oh man! Okay, yeah, and then you have this like plus strip board transfer. Okay. Yeah! It is their own sort of like custom version of strip board, which is really interesting actually. Yeah, check this out. Brick projects like LED stuff, or like Lego stuff. Okay, this is totally cool. You should totally get this. I'm digging it. Don't judge me based on that dance. Overfunded, which means you'll totally get it. 16 days ago, just over 2 weeks, and you have a $14 price point right now, so that's fantastic. EEV Blog has come out with their own multimeter. It seems that, as with some other promotional things, this is basically EEV Blog collaborating with a multimeter company to make one with their own custom little tweaks and offer it under their branding. So Test Instruments UEI is the company. So it's got Bluetooth connectivity, it's open source and cross-platform, application software, 15-volt diode test voltage, which is kind of great. Like, so, you know, many multimeters have a built-in LED diode tester thing so that you can tell which way the diode goes, which came in really handy for me recently. However, if you have like a string of LEDs, then you can't necessarily test that with just the amount of voltage that it puts through it from a regular multimeter. This one will give you 15 volts, which is quite good in terms of like testing, yeah, strings and stuff. So all kinds of other cool stuff. It's got some data logging with a micro SD card. It is over 10 times funded, and they've got 5 days to go. So pick up this one. How much is it? It is, ooh, $202. Oh yeah, and they call it the 121 GW, which is, you know, a reference to 1.21 gigawatts. And as you can see, they also have the other reference here with the out of time license plate up there, which is pretty cool. all your Back to the Future references in one place. Then, on the much more basic end, you have, again, multiple times over funded, like 8 times funded, something like that. That's crazy. Oscilloscope, which is like, again, a multimeter and logger. This one also has an oscilloscope in it. And the way that they get the price down is by having it communicate with your phone, which you use for a lot of the controls and for the display and stuff like that. So that's just really cool. You can leave it somewhere as a Bluetooth data logger, you can save the data. It's gorgeous. Yeah, way overfunded, 3 weeks to go, and you get it for $60 if you go for it now. Migo! I love the look of this. It's a very portable printer. They say that it's like the first portable printer, but that's kind of a lie, because we used to have one called the Bukito, which is an amazing $1,000 printer that is very portable and can print while you're like swinging it around with a handle and stuff. But that one was $999. This one is $150. So that is not bad. Yeah, check it out. Plus, it's super cute. With this little orange styling, it looks like something out of Portal. I love it. And it's got a great build volume compared to the size of the actual printer. So that's a lot of pluses in one $150 printer. Yeah, super cool. 0.4 millimeter nozzle, which means you can't get quite as amazing of resolution as you can on some other printers, but you know, it's $150, what can you say? The Yeehaw wand allows you to easily create objects out of thin air, so if you have a Migo printer, then you like get the Yeehaw wand, then you can just like take your show on the road wherever. You can draw things basically in 3D space, and then you 3D model them, and then you can 3D print them on your printer. This is really cool. There are very few 3D sculpting tools like this. That's so cool. So yeah, this one is twice overfunded. 1 month to go. And how much is it? $99 for the super early bird. There are 16 left out of 200 of these, so jump on it if you want it. Plus it's kind of cute. Look at this. Look at this. Augmented reality 3D sculpting. You could be this happy man looking at his phone, stroking the air with a plastic wand. It could be you. Okay, so then we go into the sort of kids programming things. It's a very popular thing for people to put on Kickstarter. We've seen like 16,000 of these already. Well, guess what? There's 2 more! There's Cody Rocky. Rocky is the robot base, and Cody is the little controller thing that sits on top. It's very cute. It's got little ears that act as trigger buttons. I love it. And you program it in Scratch. All these little things are plugged together things. There's all these little modules that you can plug together, is what I was trying to say there. Yeah, you can hold the little controller separately, or you can plug it into the robot, and then, you know, you can use, they've got all these guides to teach your kids how to use Scratch. Kids or, you know, whoever else that wants to get started in coding. It says it has AI and IoT principles, which seems to me like they're just piling on buzzwords, but it's got voice recognition, infrared TV controls, and things like that. Cool. Next up we have another one, Matata Lab. Whether or not this is based on Hakuna Matata from The Lion King, I don't know, but that's what it suggests to me. This one has a different coding system that's even more basic than Scratch. So maybe this is like for the younger kid, and then you get the older one, the Cody Rocky. Oh, how much was this one? Actually, Cody Rocky is about 75% of the way. They got 50 days to go, so that's a good chance. You can get Cody for $49, and then you can get the whole thing for $70. There you go. Matata Lab, you get this starter set for $100, which is not bad. So you could get, like, you know, this one for your younger kid, and the Cody Rocky thing for the older one. Yeah, here's what their coding system looks like. It's just blocks that you put down physically, like this, and it makes stuff happen. It's like Scratch, but in the real world. Fancy that. As I said, we've seen a lot of programming robots learn to code for your kids projects on Kickstarter, and you know, I think this one is just as good as the other ones. So, in fact, it's quite cute. Look at that. It's kind of like that other robot. I think it's called like Ozo or something that rolls around, and I just have a weakness for cute little robots that roll around on mats. I don't know. Okay, finally, this one I'm only including because it's it looks like it would be pronounced bleu if you're pronouncing that umlaut in German. I like to see wearable products on Kickstarter. There's plenty of them. And this one is a wearable cooling device and diffuser. We don't see a lot of these. There's one that is a heating and cooling bracelet that's pretty cool that came through a little while ago. And then this one is just it clips on and it is rechargeable. And it's also pronounced bleu, which I love. Okay, back to Matata Lab for a second. I'm gonna go see. Okay, they are overfunded. That's fantastic, by like 60% over. They've got 12 days to go, and you can get that one for, yeah, 99 bucks, we said. Okay, and then Bleu, if you're interested, it's also overfunded by a ton. They've got a month to go, and how much can you get it for? 30 bucks. There you go. Wearable cooling technology, $30. No problem. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this gift guide. Again, check out Mix one if you want. They got some sponsored bits, but I think all the sponsored bits are things that I would agree with being pretty cool. So, yeah. And then, you know, I really trust Donald Bell and Emily Coker and all these people on here. Total badasses. Thimble is a cool kit, too. We did an interview with them a while back, and they've got this cool living hinge setup here. The top part of that keyboard that you see is attached with living hinges to the keys, which is a way of laser cutting stuff so that it's flexible. And yeah, check that out. And I will be putting the links to these Kickstarters underneath this video as usual so that you can go check them out for yourself. Have a fun time searching for gifts. I hope this takes a little bit of the stress out of the experience, and have a great Friday.